People always say a single moment can change your whole life. But no one told Ethan Cole, a man worth billions, that his moment would come from a tiny voice tugging his sleeve in a crowded food court. No boardroom, no investment meeting, no luxury party had ever shaken him the way that one shy question did. "Can we share your fries, sir?" And the woman who asked didn't even know who he was. What she didn't know was that by asking for a simple kindness, she was about to change the coldest man in the city. Forever. Ethan Cole sat alone in the corner of the bustling mall food court, wearing a plain hoodie and jeans, something he rarely did. He had escaped from a suffocating meeting with his board, all arguing over whether to buy another company or fire another 1,000 employees. They didn't care about people. They only cared about numbers. And Ethan, despite owning the entire empire, felt strangely powerless. For once, he had wanted silence. A moment to breathe. A moment to be a normal person. He sat with a tray of fries he didn't even want. His stomach was tight from stress. His heart heavier than his wallet was full. Billionaires didn't cry, he told himself. But the loneliness that came with money felt deeper than anything he'd ever known. That's when a small pair of eyes peeked over the table. A boy, maybe 6 or 7, holding the hand of a young woman who looked exhausted but tried her best to smile. The child stared at Ethan's fries as if they were treasure. He tugged lightly at the woman's sleeve, whispering something. She hesitated, clearly embarrassed, before gently pushing him behind her as she stepped forward. "I am so sorry," she said softly, her voice trembling with politeness. "He hasn't eaten since morning, but we don't have enough for fries today. So, if you don't mind, can we share your fries, sir?" Ethan blinked. Of all the things strangers had asked him in disguise, photographs, signatures, money, no one had ever asked for something so small, yet so sincere. "You can have them," Ethan said, pushing the tray toward the boy, but the woman shook her head quickly. No, I didn't mean take. Just share. He's been craving them for days and I thought, well, it's silly. Sorry." The boy looked up with big hopeful eyes. "Mama, it's okay. I'm not that hungry." But the growl in his stomach betrayed him. Ethan's heart cracked. "Sit," he said gently. "Both of you. I'll get more." Before they could protest, he stood and ordered the largest meal on the menu, 3 times. The cashier stared, confused, but Ethan didn't care. When he returned, the woman looked shocked, almost frightened, as if kindness was something she rarely received. "You didn't have to," she whispered. "I know," Ethan replied, "but I wanted to." As they ate, Ethan learned the woman's name was Maya and the little boy was Liam. She worked 2 jobs, barely making enough for rent. Her husband had walked out years ago, leaving her to raise their son alone. She didn't complain, didn't beg. She simply kept going. Ethan admired her more than he'd admired anyone in a long time. Liam happily munched fries while telling Ethan about school and how he wanted to become someone important one day. Ethan, a man drowning in wealth, felt humbled listening to a kid with nothing dream so brightly. When it was time for them to leave, Liam hugged Ethan's arm tightly. "Thank you for being nice," he said. "Mom says nice people still exist. I'm glad she's right." Ethan watched them walk away, unaware that his heart was walking with them. That night, he couldn't sleep. Her tired smile, the boy's innocence, their honesty. Everything replayed in his mind. For the first time in years, he wondered if he had been living wrong. And for the first time ever, Ethan Cole, the billionaire everyone feared, wanted to be someone better. The next morning, Ethan returned to the same mall wearing the same simple clothes. He hoped, more desperately than he cared to admit, to see Maya and Liam again. Hours passed. No sign. By noon, he was sure they wouldn't come. Until suddenly, there they were, Maya holding a stack of papers, Liam skipping beside her. She looked stressed, and the moment she saw Ethan, she forced a smile, embarrassed that he had caught her looking worn out again. "Hi, sir," she said softly. "Hi again," Ethan replied, feeling warmth spread through him. Liam ran to him immediately. "Are you eating fries again?" Ethan laughed. A genuine laugh, something rare for him. "Only if you help me finish them." They sat together again, but this time, Maya seemed distracted. Ethan gently asked why she looked upset. She hesitated, but finally admitted, "My landlord raised the rent again. I don't know how long I can keep our home. I'm trying, really trying. I don't want Liam to feel unsafe." Her voice cracked at the word unsafe. Ethan felt something stir inside him. Something protective, something new. Without revealing who he was, he said, "You're doing amazingly. But you don't have to do everything alone." Maya smiled sadly. "Life doesn't give people like us helpers, sir." "Maybe it should," Ethan murmured. For the next hour, they talked openly. Ethan shared simple advice about saving and planning, careful not to sound like he lived in a mansion bigger than her entire neighborhood. Maya listened gratefully. Before they left, Liam looked at Ethan with those bright eyes again. "Will we see you again, mister?" Ethan's heart squeezed. "I hope so." What Maya didn't know was that the very next morning, she would receive a letter, delivered quietly, stating that an anonymous donor had paid 1 full year of her rent in advance. She cried when she read it, hugging Liam tightly. And Ethan? He stood far away, watching them through tinted car windows, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. Weeks passed, and their friendship grew naturally. Maya still didn't know he was a billionaire. Ethan never flaunted anything. He lived those moments like a normal man, laughing with Liam, listening to Maya, buying simple lunches, walking through the park. For the first time, he wasn't lonely. For the first time, he wasn't a CEO. For the first time, he was simply Ethan. But one day, everything changed. Maya came across a newspaper headline at a bus stop. A familiar face stared back at her. Her breath stopped. "Ethan Cole, billionaire CEO of Cole Enterprises, announces major charity housing initiative." Her hands shook. The man who had shared fries with her. The man who had listened to her. The man who had been kind when he had no reason to be. He was that Ethan Cole. When she met him again that evening, her eyes were wide, confused, overwhelmed. "Why didn't you tell me?" Ethan looked at her carefully. "Because I wanted you to see me, not the money." "And why help us?" she whispered. He took a deep breath. "Because your son reminded me of the kind of person I used to be. And you reminded me of the kind of person I want to be." Her eyes softened. Liam ran up and hugged Ethan's leg, completely unaware of the world-changing truth that in that moment, Maya realized something important. Kindness wasn't measured by wealth, and sometimes the people who seem the most ordinary are the ones who've been searching for a place to belong. Ethan, the lonely billionaire, finally found that place, with the mother who asked to share his fries and the boy who taught him how to smile again.